Recording in progress.
What's going on, y'all? It's Dana Polk Jr. Master Executive 8. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why it's important to control your emotions and how um, your emotions affect the things around you. And the more you pay attention, it'll make you more aware of how certain emotions make certain things happen. And you'll be more aware of the emotional states that you're in and making sure that however you feel is pretty much going to be the result that you want. So you might be the type of person that has noticed that when you experience certain emotions, things happen, right? So you might have noticed that when you get really angry, that destructive things happen. Um you might have gotten really upset at somebody and then noticed that maybe not too long after that something bad happened to them. And that may have happened a certain amount of times to the point to where you're like, man, I notice every time I get upset or I get mad, this happens. Like some sort of karma comes around, right? What that is your ancestors or forces acting on your behalf to rectify the situation uh if you weren't in the wrong, you know? And then you got the opposite of that. When you're in the wrong, um the forces don't will move on that behalf and they will put you in your place. So you may notice that when you it what it'll make you start to do is really hone in, especially on the particular emotion we're talking right now is anger, because you'll start to be more aware of when you get really really angry, and you'll want to rein it in because following that anger at some point your ancestors going to move, and they not waiting for you to they don't you don't necessarily control your ancestors. Like they moving there on their own accord. Now, what what you probably have done is maybe at some point you you tried to plead with them. You know what I'm saying? To the point to where you're like, hey, look, I know I felt that kind of way. I mean, but whatever y'all gonna do, just maybe try to take it easy. You know what I'm saying? You actually what it'll do is it'll make you actually you'll start being worried about whoever it is that did whatever it is to you. You'll start to think like, oh man, they don't know what they doing. I mean, they don't know that my ancestors move on behalf of me. Like that's what you may be saying to yourself, like that they don't know. So you have to plead with your ancestors and let them know, hey, listen, I know what happened. Look, I know what happened because they be on go. They be on go. They don't play. They're way more ruthless than you can be. I mean, and like I said, they're way more ruthless towards you as well. It's not even necessarily like this is just you know when things happen to you. Like they'll kick you in your butt just as hard as they'll kick them. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, what it'll make you start to do is when you catch yourself getting really, really angry, um, you'll really want to you're going to be more aware, and you're going to really do your best to not get there, because you know that the repercussions of that feeling that you are going to be bad for someone else. Um the next thing is like you'll catch yourself saying stuff like, "Look, I know what it look like, but it's not that bad." You know what I'm saying? This person only did this, they only did that. Like, don't even worry about it. They don't be trying here. None of that shit. They don't be trying here. None of it. They be like, "Yeah, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, we about to move on them. Yeah, we'll spare the pets and the children," type stuff. You know what I mean? Uh, so yeah, you'll start to notice that when you feel sad, you know what I'm saying? You may notice that you're comforted. You know what I mean? You may literally feel arms comforting you in your sadness. Um, because they're always there with you, in you, as you. Like, you're not necessarily separate from your ancestors. They're literally right there with you all the time, listening. They they're in rooms that you're not in, listening and reporting back to you. They're seeing things that you don't see, seeing them and reporting them back to you. You know what I mean? They're feeling things that you don't feel, feeling them, reporting it back to you. You know what I mean? Like, they're tethered to you. You know what I mean? They are you. Um, your emotions also control the weather. You might notice that when you feel happy, sunshine out, or the sun may come out. You may notice that when you feel inspired, like really inspired, that it is really windy outside. You may notice that when you feel sad, it starts raining. Like, literally, the tears from your eyes are the same water that's dropping outside. You may notice that. And it may happen enough times to make you go, hmm, you know what I'm saying? Uh, if you are feeling lost or confused, you may notice that you'll receive signs that either you're in the right direction, you're where you need to be, or you need to make a change. And your ancestors will also um let you know that too. They'll let you know when it's time to make a change. They'll let you know when something is coming. They'll let you know when to stay put. They'll let you know when you messing up. You know what I mean? Like I said, this ain't always something to where it's like your ancestors will reprimand you too. Like, this ain't a one way thing to where they're just out to get people type stuff. Like no. They're there for everybody. You know what I mean? And if they have to dole out a punishment, like, it's not a necessarily a respecter of person. Um they may show themselves in angel numbers. Um One particular angel number that they'll show themselves in are repeating numbers, and sometimes sequential numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or you might see 11, 11, 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 4. And when you start to see those over and over and over, is usually them trying to tell you something. What I would suggest is that immediately when you see those numbers, notice whatever that you're thinking about, because it's trying to make you aware that you might be thinking, man, I really found something that I want to do and I love to do it. And then just happen to look at your clock and see 11, 11. And it's like, that's your ancestors letting you know, yo, you are on point. Keep doing it. Um, if you're procrastinating or being lazy, your ancestors will also just be sitting there like almost kicking you in the back, like, bro, get up. Like you got stuff you need to do. Like what's like come on, man. Like you act like you got all day. You act like your life ain't limited. Like uh just hypothetically speaking, 100 years ain't really that long. Like let's just hypothetically speak, you live to be 100 years old. That's not really that long. It's really not. Especially if you in like your 30s or your 40s, you're already almost halfway through. Like you don't really got no time to waste. Now at the same time, it's not a rush either. They will also let you know when, hey, like, don't be so anxious. Relax. Like, keep moving forward, but don't be anxious about it. Don't be worried about it. Like you'll be fine. Just keep moving forward and keep paying attention and keep listening and keep looking. Um, and it may even so like say you're procrastinating or you're being lazy about something, it may remove that thing. So then you don't have no choice but to be on point. You'll find yourself with something removed out of your life and you'll be like, dang, now I ain't really got no choice but to focus on what I'm supposed to do. Or you'll get that nudge, hey, you've been spending way too much time doing this thing that ain't got nothing to do with what you're supposed to be doing. We need you to get back, you know what I mean? You got a mission to fulfill. See, your ancestors are not there to just be there. They're not there for their own health. I mean, they are because, their health is your health, whatever. But you have a mission to complete. So they are assisting you on that mission. So if you're not pushing the mission forward, they're going to push you. Like, all right, like let's go, in one way or another. Um Sometime when it's time to make a move, they'll give you a sign. Like I said, sometime it might be that 11 and 11. Sometime it might be a person. They might send a message through another person and you got to catch that message when it comes because you may not be paying attention. Sometimes somebody will say something and you won't pay it no mind. And then you'll become aware of it and you'll be like, hold on. They literally just told me to move. Let me make that move. I mean, while it's there. I mean, sometimes you have these windows of opportunity. Now, the windows of opportunity are going to keep opening. Every soul will come to completion at some point, meaning there are no lack of opportunities, not necessarily any missed opportunities. Everything is cyclical, it comes back around. Now, when it comes back around, I don't know. I mean, that's on divine timing. But everything is cyclical. Uh when you're happy, like I said, you might experience sunshine. You might experience also reassurance. You may be one of those type people to where it's like, all right, man, things are going really well, like almost too well. And you may get that reassurance from them, like, nah, like it's really okay. You know what I mean? Like you really are in a good place right now. Like we need you to chill and stop being anxious about it and be in your good space and move forward. You know what I mean? And cross bridges when you come to them. When things come up, then you deal with them. Don't create situations in your head and then get mad when they show up. It's like we told you stuff was cool. Why did you create a situation of, oh, things could go bad and then they do and then you get mad when they do? Um, like I said, sometimes you'll get message through media. You'll get messages through videos, you get messages through songs, you'll get messages through um written stuff, papers, articles, books. You'll get you just have to pay attention. That's it. You just gotta be tuned in, gotta pay attention. The signs are all around you. Um when people try to belittle you or make you feel small, you may notice that something happens to them. I mean, you may notice that something happening, and it will be a reoccurring thing. You'll notice, you'll be like, okay, this person did that, that happened. This person did that, that happened. This person did that, that happened. It's like, all right, when y'all do this, this happens. You know what I mean? You're not doing anything. You're not uh out here you're not out here doing anything to anybody. Like, yo, most of the time you will literally be trying to mind your own business. 90% of the time, you don't mess with anybody. You're not out to get nobody. You're not even wishing bad on anybody. And if ever you do, you catch yourself. You know what I mean? You catch yourself when you start going down into feelings and things that are negative or low vibrational, and you bring yourself back up. But most of the time, you're not out here starting nothing with nobody. So when you like you're not seeking revenge. Like, we don't do me. I don't do revenge because I don't know about it, but you might be that type of person too, where you don't do revenge. I mean, because it's like, after seeing things happen so many times, that revenge is going to be had. Like like papers and justice is going to be served. You don't gotta do it, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna harm yourself in the process, trying to cause somebody else harm. Think about it. In order for you to get revenge, you have to cause somebody else harm. Now, am I saying you're going to be perfect with that? No. I've played through plenty of scenarios in my head to where I was like, you know what? I don't know if I would leave that up to my ancestors if that happened. Like, just to be perfectly honest with y'all, there's certain situations I played through in my head, and I was just like, that'll be a tough one. I'll probably do it, but that'll be a tough one for me to leave that up to them. But is a reason why in the biblical account it says, "Vengeance is mine," said the Lord, "I will repay." Let the your ancestors, the universe is letting you know that you don't have to go seeking revenge. You don't have to do that. It will serve justice. It's not even revenge when it's only revenge when you do it. It's justice when when things naturally happen. Because you're, like I said, you didn't set that in motion. Whoever that was set that in motion. That's their karma they got to deal with. Just like when you set things in motion, you got to deal with your own karma. Like I said, it's not a respect of a person's type thing. But you will notice that when certain things happen to you, these things happen. You know, I I really don't like this the term chosen, because I feel like I don't disagree with it, but I feel like it's been so overused today that man, anybody will think they chosen. Anybody will just pop up on the internet and be like, I'm a chosen one, you're a chosen one, we're chosen ones. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like when you are actually, you know, chosen, like, you move in that way. You can say it cool. I mean, me personally, I don't go around saying I'm chosen. Like, I can just tell by my mind state and the mind states around me and the way people gravitate towards me and the way that I gravitate towards certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? Who is on what level of, how can I say it, evolution? Because, like I said, every soul will come to completion. Everybody's path is different, and everybody is at different levels in their path. So you're less likely to judge people while on their path. Although you should be a judge at some point. But like something I just listened to, like for instance, you wouldn't a child wouldn't be a judge per se because a child doesn't have enough experience to be a judge. You know, the judges, like if you go into the tribes, the judges are usually the older people because they have the experience, they have the know-how to be able to make certain judgments. Um, so yeah, I kind of got off there. Um, let's bring it back, right? When when people try to get close to you, because this will happen, and I'm pretty sure it's happened to you. There will be people that will try to get close to you. Um, and your ancestors, your intuition, will let you know yay or nay. It'll either be like, all right, cool, you can let that person in. Or it's gonna be like, man, I don't care how much of a smile this person puts on. I don't care how much of a front they put up. Do not let that person close to you. I'm not even saying you gotta necessarily just be cutting everybody off, but your relationships should have layers. And there should only be certain people that are close to you. And there should be others that you feed with a long handle spoon. And you keep your distance from them. And then you also gotta watch out for the and the energy vampires. And you gotta make sure that you're not feeding off. I notice when I hear people talk about energy vampires, they never put it on the other foot of everybody. I think is um feeds off of people. Just perfect example, when you got a team, right? The team feeds off each other's energy. Like it's not like a feeding like oh I'm purposely intentionally taking from you. But we feed each other with the high vibrations, meaning we're resonating. Um but then you got those that try to uh feed off your energy through ways of gaslighting. Yeah, I mean, trying to make you feel some type of way to get a reaction out of you. That doesn't serve you or them. You know, um, you got I think gaslighting is one of the main things, man, that you'll notice that that people do. And you gotta also be aware and keep in mind of when you're doing it too. Sometimes we do things and we're not conscious of it. And it's important to be aware of that. One of the main ways people can feed on your energy is by you paying attention to them. If you notice that you're paying attention to something that is literally trying to make you feel bad, you need to take your attention away. Now, am I saying that they can no longer pull at your energy? Not necessarily, but out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? You're a source for a lot of people. A lot of people literally cannot keep your name out of their mouth. There are a lot of people who literally their the things they have to focus on revolve around you. And whether that's positive or negative. So it's important to pay attention to the things that are for your highest good and for the highest good of everyone around you. And to keep in mind of when you might be slipping into some of these things as well. The gaslighting, they're trying to make people feel bad, trying to belittle people. Like, keep in mind when you're doing that and when it's being done to you, and don't give those things energy. You know, keep in mind when people are trying to breadcrumb you. Keep in mind and when uh people are trying to play with your emotions. Like, just keep all that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Because your emotions move these forces and these ancestors. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. Um, I got something else that I'm supposed to be doing, but it's probably going to be a little bit later, and I don't think I'm gonna get it done today. Um, but it should definitely be finished by tomorrow, and I'll have it for y'all tomorrow. Um, so yeah, man, that's all I wanted to get on here to say is your emotions control those forces, and it's very important to keep in mind um when you're to keep control of your emotions. Um, yeah, that's it. I will talk to y'all later.